Hello, my name is Donnie Jackson, and I want to just first give a disclaimer that this is not an actual counseling session, but this is indeed a role play for class purposes only. Okay, how you doing?
Hi.
Nice meeting you. What seems to bring you in?
I'm struggling with my uh, intimacy with my spouse.
So, what I'm hearing is that you're struggling with your intimacy with your spouse. Tell me about that.
We have a 10-month-old baby, and since I had the baby, um, I I'm not confident in myself like I used to be physically, and I'm really not interested in being uh, sexually active.
Okay. So, since you had the baby, you're lacking confidence, and you're not feeling confident to the point where you want to be sexually intimate with your husband. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me about the lack of not wanting to be intimate.
I don't. I don't like the way I look in the mirror when I look in the mirror anymore.
Okay.
Um, Even though he compliments me sometimes, it still doesn't. It doesn't do anything.
So you don't like the way you see yourself in the mirror, and although your husband gives you compliments, you're still at the point where you're not confident to move on into intimacy with your husband.
Yes.
Tell me about the lack of desire, the lack of wanting to be intimate with your husband.
I don't have the. I just don't have that drive. I feel like I'm missing something, and I'm trying to find it and get it back.
Okay. So you're saying that you're lacking drive and you're trying to find it and get it back. So you said you're lacking drive and you're trying to find it. Tell me about the it and drive that you're missing.
Um, I'm missing that excitement that I had about myself.
So you're missing the excitement.
hmm
Tell me about the excitement that you once had versus now.
I loved how I used to look. Um, I don't like how I look now.
Tell me more about that.
Um, I have some more weight, not a lot, but more than what I want. I have some extra skin
Okay.
during the pregnancy. Um, I even got a few gray hairs,
Okay.
um, and I don't like it.
So you have extra weight and you're saying extra skin, few gray hairs, and you're not liking what you see.
Right.
Tell me what you see, not only when you see the physical imagery of yourself. What is it that you see beyond that?
Beyond that, I see a woman who um, is determined, um, a woman who has goals, um, a woman who believes that God has a lot in store for her.
Okay. So, so you see a woman who's driven, has goals, and understand that God has a lot in store for her. So since you um, spoken of what you feel God has in store for you, how does your faith tie in to how you view yourself?
Um, because I'm not giving up.
So you're not giving up.
Um, I I'll start a exercise routine, but I'm just not consistent with it. Um, but I keep trying.
So okay. So you'll start something,
Yeah.
not finish it, but you'll start over again.
Yes.
Okay. But you're saying you're determined and you're not going to give up.
Right.
Okay. Tell me more.
Um, I want my marriage to be spicy, and I try to think of ways to, spice it up and make time for me and my husband. Um, I don't know. I guess just the working out thing. Uh, I want to feel good about myself physically too.
Okay.
It's I know everything is not about physical, but spiritually in my mind, I know what I want to do, and I want to see that manifested in the physical.
Okay.
And it's kind of like I put my husband on hold until I get there.
Okay. So, in your mind, you know what you want,
Hmm.
but you put off your intimacy with your husband until you attain what you want
Yes.
in terms of your self-image.
Yes.
Tell me more about that.
Um, if he compliments me, it's like, oh, okay, but I need to lose some weight. Instead of me just receiving a compliment, I need to I need to receive the compliment and let it be a period there instead of having a comma and going on with something else.
So, what I'm hearing is that he would give you a compliment,
Mhm.
but instead of receiving the compliment, you'll take it somewhere else.
Yes.
Tell me more about that.
It's just hard to accept sometimes something positive from someone when you see yourself the opposite.
Okay.
So that's why I struggle.
So, even though you're receiving the compliments,
Mhm.
by your own admission, you don't see yourself in those compliments. So you tend to think otherwise, the opposite of what the actual comment suggests.
Yes.
Can you elaborate on that a little? Examples.
Um, my husband will give me a compliment on something that he brought me that he liked and tell me that I look nice in it. But then I'll go on to say, yeah, once I lose a little more weight, I'll look a little bit better instead of just saying, thank you, So I want to do better at that.
So when he gives you a compliment, you add something onto it.
Yes.
He says something positive, and you take it into a negative aspect.
Yes.
Tell me how the compliment you receive from your husband would lead you to think anything other than what the actual comment suggests. So if he says you're beautiful, what would lead you to believe that you're not beautiful?
Because of how I feel about myself.
And what's that?
Not beautiful.
Not beautiful. So when we say not beautiful, are we talking about in the physical?
Yes. More
Okay.
so.
Is there more to that?
Um, just some of the other things I think about myself is not beautiful. So
Which are?
I don't feel successful in different areas of my life.
You don't feel successful in different areas,
Yes.
and the lack of success in those areas lead you to think negative of yourself. Am I getting that right?
Yes.
Okay. So in terms of intimacy and success, how does those two components play or tie in together? Which you would tend to avoid intimacy? The aspect of intimacy versus success. How do those two factors tie in together?
Because I believe that when you are successful at accomplishing things that you're striving for, you feel better about yourself.
Okay.
And and then you just you have this drive, you know,
Okay.
and it's just like having a waking up one day where you had a career and all of a sudden you've been laid off. So you don't tend to really, you know, you believe in God, but because it's been so long, you know, of being unemployed or short, the things you used to enjoy doing, you don't. You know,
Okay.
it's like intercourse is the last thing on your mind, having fun is the last thing on your mind. But once you get back in that mode of working again and
Mhm.
income coming in, your attitude is different.
Okay.
So that's how I look at it in my intimacy relationship with my spouse.
Okay.
You know, I wanna look good physically
Mhm.
too. You know, uh, then I know everything starts with how you think, because what you think is how you'll act.
Mhm.
You know, but you know, I know I'm beautiful, but it's like physically, I don't like what I see, and
Okay.
I wanna tone it up.
Okay. So you're equating um, success with having a strong intimate drive, or a lack of success, which in some ways tend to in your own admission decrease the intimacy or the lack of wanting to be intimate with your husband.
Right.
Okay. So tell me a little more about that.
About
The drive in terms of intimacy when you're feeling uh, as if you're not accomplishing your goals. I know you said in particular in this scenario, your goal is to, in your own words, tighten up, get back into some clothing, and spicing up your relationship again.
mhm.
Expound on that just a tad more.
um, I think it'll give me more confidence in my marriage,
Also,
cause I feel better about myself. I feel better about myself.
mhm,
I don't feel attractive.
okay, you don't feel attractive.
No.
Okay, so in terms of self-image, how are you viewing uh, your perception or your self imagery regarding yourself?
Um, I mean, I don't see myself as an ugly person. I see myself as a person who just need to put some work in.
So you don't see yourself as an ugly person, but rather you see that yourself as a person that needs to put work in.
Yes.
Work into what?
More work into thinking more positive first, and then being able to receive uh, positive compliments.
Okay, so you're saying that you have to be in position to be more positive yourself
Yes.
and be able to receive
Mhm.
the compliments in a positive manner.
Right.
Tell me about that.
Because I don't think positive about myself every day. And even at work, someone can be like, Nina, tell me, you don't even look like you just had a baby. But it's a comma. And I add something else. Oh, you just don't see it, but I got an extra such and such here.
Okay.
You know, I don't, and it's becoming I didn't realize since I started thinking about it, but it's a habit now. It's becoming a norm for me.
Okay.
I can't receive a positive compliment.
So what I'm hearing is that you have developed a habit of taking a positive compliment and making it negative.
Right.
Okay. Is there anything that is played in to your response in terms of making everything negative?
I think I mean, probably how I grew up.
Okay. Tell me about how you growing up.
A lot of negative. I grew up around a lot of negative.
So your atmosphere in terms of growing up was negative.
Yes.
Okay, elaborate on that.
Um, Growing up at home, you know, my sister would tell me not to smile because of how my teeth look. Um, at school, people made fun of my shoulders, so I tend to always wear jackets and things to cover up.
Okay,
Um,
let's pause there for a moment.
mhm,
So you spoke of the atmosphere at home in terms of dealing with your sister.
mhm,
She suggested that you not smile.
yes.
Expound on that.
She told me that my teeth, because my teeth were not in good shape. So even though I got braces, it still didn't fix it. Even though I got braces and got the braces taken off, I still struggle with smiling.
Okay. So after, this is what I'm hearing, after you corrected your teeth,
Hmm.
you were still unable to smile.
Right.
Why?
Because what she said just stuck like glue.
Okay. So based on what your sister has told you,
Mhm.
you struggle to smile.
Hmm.
Is there anything more to that?
Um, you know, my parents used to say that I was just bad and a disobedient child, and because of how I used to act out, and that it made me ugly. So
Okay.
I always looked at myself as ugly.
So I hear now that you also state that in your upbringing, your parents would tell you that your behavior,
Hmm.
in terms of acting out, made you look ugly.
Hmm.
Okay. Could you tell me a little bit more about that?
Um, I didn't like some of the things that my dad did growing up, so I didn't respect him.
Okay.
So I would always do the opposite of what he said because I was angry. And even though I made changes in my life later, everyone still stayed on the things that I used to do and not the new person that I had become.
Okay.
So I pretty much I've always tried to fix everything that was a problem.
So despite all your changes, everyone only saw what you used to do
Yeah,
or what you used to be versus what you had worked towards.
right.
Okay. Okay. So can you just give me a little bit more in regards to that?
Um, so I finished high school even though I was pregnant. I went to college and got my degree. I took care of my son, but people didn't talk about that. They talked about they focused on, you know, she was fast and she had a baby, you know, or the things I used to say, you know, instead of, you know, I like really worked hard. I worked hard to prove people that, you know, I can do it. You know, I can be better. So I got braces to fix my teeth.
Mhm.
I finished high school even though I was pregnant.
Mhm.
I got my degree.
Okay.
I bought my first house.
Okay.
But in doing all those things, something still was missing.
So despite all the changes you've made and everything you worked to fix that people spoke negatively about, you still felt that something was missing.
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me about what you felt or what you feel is missing?
Um, Me just letting, with me being in church and reading my Bible,
Mhm.
I need to let what God say be it with a period and
Okay.
not a comma.
So you need to let what God says
Mm-hmm.
be it
Yeah,
without adding anything else to it.
right.
How do we do that?
It starts with the way I think.
Okay. So it starts with the way you think
and then what I speak to myself or out loud.
and what you speak to yourself out loud.
Yes.
What are some of those things that you speak to yourself?
Well, one of my favorite verses is Psalms 139, that I am fearfully and wonderfully made.
Okay? You're fearfully and wonderfully made.
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
That even though, Nina, you didn't have a baby, it doesn't make you not beautiful. You know, it's okay to work towards that, but don't let that stop you from being who you are in your marriage.
Okay?
So,
Being fearfully and wonderfully made leads you to believe that no matter what you've done, you still can be the woman or the wife that you need to be in your relationship.
yes.
Okay. Expound on that a little.
Like, it doesn't matter like what I go through in my marriage.
Okay.
You know, I'm not walking away.
Okay.
I pray and ask God to show me what to do.
Okay.
And I just feel like, even though you married, you shouldn't get comfortable, you know. So I'm always working on being better, because I'm not perfect either.
Okay.
And, asking God to show me where I can do better.
Okay.
So,
So you're asking God to show you what you can do better.
right.
And you have suggested that your faith has a lot to do with your redirection.
Yes.
Okay. And you're fearfully wonderfully made.
Yes.
Tell me about some of those things in which you have to remind yourself of being fearfully and wonderfully made.
So I have to block out some things from people. Like some people will say, when you get married, your husband need to accept you as you are, So if you gain some weight, that's fine. A lot of things you don't have to do. But I feel like in your marriage, you shouldn't let yourself go.
Okay. Okay.
You shouldn't let yourself go. And everything, you can always better yourself in an area. I don't care how long you've been married.
Okay. So you don't care how long you've been married, that you can always better yourself and that you should never let yourself go.
Yes.
Okay. So this is what I want to do. Our session is coming to an end. So before we leave today, I want to send you out with a couple of exercises that you can work on. And what I'm going to suggest to you is going to help us determine where you are in terms of self-imagery. And when I say that is that you can build your self-image or the way you perceive the way you are on a narrow basis, meaning that you have built your image on one particular thing, which can cause a lot of dissatisfaction, or you have built your stance on self-imagery on a broad basis, which suggests that there's multiple things about you that makes you beautiful. So what I want to do is send you out with an exercise that I want you to practice every day, preferably in the evening once you have wound down and dealt with your day, and your private time. So, for instance, you're in your restroom. I want you to light up candles all around you. I want to take the lighting away and just burn candles all around you. Then I want you to focus on the things on the outside that makes you beautiful. And you can look at your face and talk about the qualities of your face that make you beautiful. You can look at other aspects of your body. And for instance, you can look at your leg and say, I love my legs because they're strong and they carry my body. I love my skin because of its tone and it speaks volumes about me. Whatever it is about you that makes you beautiful in terms of your body, I want you to highlight. And you want to start from the top of your head and go all the way down to the sole of your feet. But I don't want to just focus on what's beautiful about you on the outer. I want to also add an additional exercise that will have you look into the mirror and know, and when you look in the mirror, you begin to talk about those things that you see about yourself that are beautiful, but are not dealing with your physical, but more so your psychological aspect or your emotional, whatever it is about you outside of being physical. Focus on that and speak about the beauty in that as well. Remember, we're looking to broaden the basis of your self-imagery and take away that narrow viewpoint. That way, you'll be more balanced. And I look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks from now. And nice talking to you. And I hope to see you really soon.
Thank you.